2019 MCQs. Question number 3. Use of public key and private key. ඊට කලින් ඊට පස්සේ අවුරුද්දේ. කලින් අවුරුද්ද අපි දැන් දැක්ක MCQ ටික. Now this is next year. Use of public key and private key encryption and decryption process is called මොකද්ද? Public key private key use කරන්නේ asymmetric key encryption. Directly අහනවා ඔය හැමදාම. Then fourth one. In a particular network, each node is connected directly to the central device. The topology refers to each node can end device connect on central device. What is that? Star topology. And on 5. 22. Which of the following statements correctly describe the hacker? Hacker. They are bored and lonely antisocial teenagers who attack computer systems as a challenge or sometimes for profit. හරිද? දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ කට්ටිය නෙවෙයි. Are bored and lonely antisocial teenagers. අපේ කට්ටිය එහෙම නෙවෙයිනේ. එහෙම වුණත් ඉතුරු ටික කරන්න බෑනේ. Who attack the computer systems as a challenge. Then whoever attack a computer system, aren't they hackers? Maybe for profit or even white hat hackers are there, right? Profit නැතුව attack කරත් උත් hacker කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. Profitable වෙන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ, damage කරන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ, ඒත් hacker තමයි. එහෙනම් A is a hacker. They are IT skilled people who attack computer systems of individual and business as a form of competition. The target is not a matter. If they access unauthorizedly, they are called as hackers. Now B is also correct. See, they are organized crime groups that deploy highly automated and sometimes highly target attack against computer systems of individuals and business for certain profits. Yes. Unauthorized නම් කොහොමත් උන් hackers ලා තමයි. එහෙනම් C. මල්ලි තාම ක්ලාස් එකේ තව විනාඩි 5කින් ඉවර කරලා එනවා. හරි. Right, then that's 22. 25. What is the following? Which of the following are properties of signal? ඒවත් හොඳට දන්නවා. First section එක. Amplitude, clock time කියලා එකක් තියෙනවද? නැහැ. එහෙනම් what is the answer? Third one, amplitude, frequency, phase and wavelength. That's a direct answer. ඒව දන්නවා පොඩි දේවල් ටිකක්. 26. Which of the following options contain only guided media? What are guided? Wired. What is it? Coaxial, fiber and twisted pair. 3 is the answer. No need to explain them. They are direct theories. 27. The frequency modulation technique is used to change FM. Which property is changing? Frequency is changing without changing the rest. And 4 is the answer. Then 35. Which of the following statements, consider the following statements, which of them are correct? Hub connects only the network computers, but switch connects multiple devices. Bus නෙමෙයි but. මොකද ඒ කතාව? There's a story behind that, right? That there's a technical point for you to learn. We know hub and switch. Which one is intelligent? Switch can read the MAC addresses and forward them. Hub can't read anything. Therefore, whatever received are copied and sent to all broadcasting. And whenever the device A is sending data to B, won't this data be received by all the others even? Then once they are received by these devices, they should process the data and decide this is not for me, I want to discard it. So then the end device should be able to filter or process whether they are for me or not. In switches, whenever someone sends data, they are being directly delivered to the destination, not for the others. And whatever the data received need not to be processed, they can directly accept it. If so, when we are using hubs, the devices we are going to connect, should they be processable devices? They should be capable of processing the receiving signals to detect whether they are for me or not. You know that these days we can connect cameras, some printers, less powerful devices to our networks. If you connect a very poor camera, CCTV camera, where it has no much more processing power. That is, the processing power of the camera is used to process the images. And whenever the signals are coming, the available poor CPU cannot process whether the signals are for me or not. Then the signals are going to get jammed. The processing of the device will be flood. And hubs are used to connect what sort of devices? Computers like highly processing devices, unlike less processing devices. You understand that? But for switches, it is possible to connect less powerful devices. Why? They will filter and deliver the data. That's the idea. And hub connects only the network computers, but switch connects multiple devices. Harida? Harine? Hub eකට computers තමයි accepted. Others are not acceptable. And A is correct. ඔකට පොඩි point එකක් දාලා ලියා ගන්න උතන. We like with the star. The hub is not a processing device. The hub is not a processing device. The hub is not a processing device, which is broadcasting the received data to all the connected devices. To all the connected devices. Right, full stop and say, the connected devices must be capable of processing the received signals to determine are they for the device or not. Therefore, less processing devices within brackets, right? Cameras, then printers are not suitable to be connected into the hubs. Then A is correct. Now B, switch manages the ports and the VLAN security settings. What is that? 35, the MCQ. Statement A, hub connects only the network computers, but the switch connects multiple devices. That is talking about the difference between hub and the switch. So then here we have a hub. We know the difference between hub and switch. Here we have a switch. Then what is the difference between hub and switch? Hub broadcast, switch forwards. Which one is intelligent? Switch. Which one gives you better transfer rate? Switch. Why? From the sender, it can directly forward those data into the receiver without interrupting the others. But hub is not like that. Whenever a sender sends data, here we have a sender, this is a receiver, but the specific data will be delivered to all the devices that are connected into the network. That's the behavior of the hub. Right? When this hub is using, the question says that statement, hub connects only the network computers. Hub is used to connect only the computers, but it is given as bus, right? It has a but. A switch connects multiple devices. But the switch is ready to connect multiple devices other than computers even. What are the other devices possible to connect into a hub or switch? Printers. Power. Even cameras, the CCTV camera. And there can be some other sensors even. We can connect them into the networks. Right? Then whenever we connect such varieties of devices into the switch, they are not ready to be connected to the hub. Is it true or false? Incident is this. Whenever the hub is there, hub does the broadcasting job. Broadcast. So whenever we send some data, they will be delivered to all the connected devices since the hub is not intelligent. Then whenever those data, now the receiver is here, whenever those data are received by A will get those data and process them to identify are these data for me or not. If it is not for them, reject it. If it is for them, they will accept it. In order to process them, should the CPU, should the RAM of the computer be used to process those data? Yes. If it is not for them, that utilization of the CPU and the RAM is a waste. Then if you have a computer, general computers are having considerable amount of RAM and CPU. Fine. But if you go for a other device like printer, is the printer having very powerful CPU and RAM or very small amount of RAM and CPU? It's not a processing device like this. Even the camera, they are still having little. Some other sensors, they have little. Then whenever we connect them into a hub, now here we have a printer. Here we have a camera. When the sender is sending data, they are being received by the camera as well. Now the camera has to utilize its available little CPU power on processing this fake data. Won't that overloading the power of the small devices? Then once it is going on continuously, this device may fail to operate. Why? It has to keep on processing the incoming traffic. Even these ones. Therefore, when you are going to connect these less processing devices, should we use hub or switch? Switch, they will forward the data, necessary data only, not unnecessary data. An easy statement, correct or wrong? Hub connects only the network computers, but switch connects multiple. Switch connects multiple devices. How is it? Let me. We write a small text there under this. Since the hub broadcast, all the sending data, to all connected devices, the specific data must be processed by the connected devices, verifying whether the traffic, signals, are for the device, or not. By utilizing by utilizing the power of the CPU, RAM. That's the power of the CPU, RAM. Next point. Computers having enough processing power. Computers are having enough processing power. While the other network devices, within bracket site, printers, cameras, sensors, have no enough processing power to deal with fake, unwanted signals. Then, therefore, hub is ready to be connected into processing devices like computers, but switch is okay to connect with any other device since it is forwarding data. Part B, switch manages ports and VLAN settings, VLAN security settings. Switch manages the ports. Is it? Switch has ports. And VLAN security settings. What is VLAN? This is another point that is not there in our syllabus, but it's there in the question, right? What is VLAN? Stands for virtual LAN. So we had another concept earlier called as subnetting. Subnets are prepared. That subnet is the whole network has been reproduced into smaller subnetworks to make the data arrangement easier. Virtual LANs is still similar concept, but using some other technology. Now, VLAN is whenever the switch is considered, switch has ports. There are ports available in switch. Right? Of the ports, the switch has to produce the facility, the VLAN. What they do is they prepare a virtual LAN one focusing these ports. We have to program the switch now. Which is program telling that these 4 ports are belong to VLAN 1. And then these 6 ports are belong to VLAN 2. And these are going to be of VLAN 3. These are of VLAN 4. Now, setting up VLANs is still a way of categorizing your devices. Right? If I am connecting these 4 computers into these 4 ports, they are belong to VLAN 4. And then if I connect these computers into these VLANs, they are belong to VLAN 1. Just like the subnetting idea. Then we can treat these computers in a separate manner than these computers. Why we have subgrouped it? You understand that? VLAN is another way how you subcategorize the connected computers. That is completely based on the feature of the switch. Switch has that feature to program, to designate which ports belong to which VLAN. Hope that you are clear. VLAN settings in a tanikaram set penne switch එක feature එකක් උඩ another way of subgrouping them. Enam easy statement correct or wrong? Part B.
Switch manages the ports and VLAN security settings. Is it? So then they are completely upon to whom? Router or switch? Switch is managing them. And B is also correct. එකත් පොඩ්ඩක් ලියාගමු note එකක් විදිහට VLAN setting virtual LAN. They will like is another concept of creating subgroups of computers in a LAN based on a feature of the switch. Right? Next point. The available ports, RJ45 ports, right? The available ports of the switch can be programmed into different VLANs to arrange the categorization. What is this VLAN settings are? Still, it was not there in our paper, but not in our syllabus, but it's there, right? Then part C, in data transmission, the hub uses bits while the switch uses frames and brackets. Harida? Hub is working on which layer? Hub works on physical layer. Hey, hub is not intelligent. Please do not. So hub falls under the physical layer. If so, the data are handled in the form of bits. Then data transmission hub uses bits while the switch uses frames and packets. Then switch falls under the data link layer. Data link layer maintains frames, but the statement says that in transmission hub uses bits while switch uses frames and packets. Where do you have packets? Packets are found in network. Is the switch falls under the network layer? No. But there are switches which are playing in both the layers. Normally, the switch is layer 2, L2, layer 1, layer 2, L2 switches are there. Also, there are switches, L3 switches. layer 3. And they will support the job of the network layer as well. So then that particular switch is ready to do routing, as well as it is working to do the jobs of the data link layer as well. That's an improved version of the switch. ස්විච් වැඩ කරන්නේ data link එකේ. හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැනේ. දැන් මේ කරුමේ කියන ටෙක්නොලොජි ඩෙවලොප් වෙනවනේ. ඒතර අපේ මිනිස්සු කරන්නේ ස්විච් එකම තව ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරනවා. එයාටම නෙට්වර්ක් ලේයර් එකේ වැඩ කරන්නත් පුළුවන් වෙනවා. එහෙනම් ඒ ස්විච් එක මොකද? රවුටින් කියන වැඩත් කරනවා. data link layer එකේ තියෙන MAC addressing ඒවත් කරනවා. හරි? That's an improved switch, not the normal switch. They are quite expensive as well. හරි? එහෙනම් there are some switches where they can handle the datagram in the form of frames, as well as the datagrams can be handled in the form of packets as well, since it is improved. Hari kata? What are practical events? Then C correct or wrong then? C correct ne? Then we like again into a note. What the point is variance. Katandare mehmai habai when it comes to questions the story is different. We like with the star. Generally, the switch works under. Generally, the switch works under the data link layer. Generally, the switch works under the data link layer, handling frames. Full stop. But there are powerful improved switches. But there are powerful improved switches. But there are powerful improved switches. Powerful improved switches where they cover the responsibilities of data link, L2 data link, L2 close brackets, and network layer data link L2 close brackets and network layer L3 activities. That's also correct. Then the fourth statement D, the data transmission speed of a hub is higher than the switch. Which one is faster? Switch, not the hub. And ABC is the answer. For 35, answer is the first one. Right? Then 36. Now you understand that such discussions will give you more facts for you, right, rather than the general knowledge. 36. Consider the following statements about proxy server. We know well about it. It helps to hide the true IP address. Is it? Proxy is hiding the true IP address. Normally, proxy is used to provide the internet connection to all the devices in the LAN. Here we have a LAN. Right? And when this is going to get connected to the internet through the router, if you configure a proxy server in it, what it does? All the internet requests from these devices, ABC, all these requests are first going into the proxy, and proxy will make the request to the internet. Whereas no direct host can reach the internet whenever a proxy server is present. Right? Now, whenever the internet servers are responding to the request, when I ask for Yahoo website, now this is Yahoo. Yahoo should respond. Is the response targeting onto the proxy server, or is the response targeting onto the computer B? Proxy. Now, internet devices are dealing with the proxy server. Once they are coming to the proxy will deliver them into B. Now, the natural IP, the actual IP of B, is known to the Yahoo server or it's being hidden? It's high. A proxy is presenting in the internet on behalf of all the devices available. And this statement correct or wrong? It helps to hide the true IP address. The true IP of this device is hidden from the internet unless instead proxy's IP address will be presenting there. And 36 A is correct. හරි ඔන්න එකකට පොඩි පොයින්ට් මේක අපි ලියාගත්තද මම දන්නේ ඔය කලින් පොඩි පොයින්ට් එකක් දාලා ලියා ගන්නවා එහෙනම් all the devices, all the internet servers are providing the replies, all the internet servers are providing the replies, responses to the proxy server and the proxy is delivering them to the specific host in the LAN. So that the actual IP of the host in the LAN, are hidden from the internet. Actual IPs of the LAN are hidden from the internet. Then A is correct. B, it is used to restrict the access of the website in the network. When you have the proxy, it will limit the accessing to the internet. Yes, into the proxy we can set rules telling that these URLs should not be reaching the internet. Correct? And B is also correct. It uses cache data for the quick loading of regular access websites. Proxy cache. Whatever received recently is kept in the cache and then delivering them to the users quickly. That's also fine. Then D, it helps to detect locations of the visitors and load web pages as per their needs. It helps to detect the locations of the visitors. The visitors are the ones who are in the LAN. Now, proxy will identify who makes the request. Visitors are them for the proxy, right? Then it helps to detect the locations of visitors and load web pages as per their needs. Identifying who the member and loading the web pages as they request. That's also correct. So, visitor in this case is a visitor for the proxy, right? Proxy is visited by the members of the LAN. And now, that's going to be D. All are correct. 5 has to be the answer. Right. Then 2019, the writing question. Did I do it here in the IP addressing part? කරේ නැහැ නේද? IP addressing කරද්දී ඔක discuss කරේ නැහැ නේ. 2019 question එක admin 5 මතක නැහැ කරාද නැද්ද කියලා. Right. Then I'll take that question, 2019, the writing question. Question number 2. If I've done, inform me, right? The school has acquired the following resources: admin, lib, and lab. The school computer network has to be created to fulfill the following requirements. Now we have to redesign the network to fulfill this requirement. This is that admin has to have 5 computers, 1 printer, 40 and 1. Lib has to have 10 and 1. We have to do the subnetting along with these features. Then each building needs to have their own LAN in order to share the printer. The above 3 networks are also to be interconnected so that the school information system, which is running in the admin building, and the lib running in the library building are connected. Right? All the computers are to be given efficient interconnectivity as well. For this purpose, school has subscribed for an internet service provider who supply the connectivity to the lab building. Now the arrangement is, when you go for admin, even the lab as well as lib. The first bullet says that each building needs to have own LAN. Second bullet, the above 3 networks are to be interconnected so that the SIS running in the admin building. Admin has SIS. And the library information running in the lib building, LIS. All the computers are to be in efficient interconnection. ISP is connected to the who is supply the internet connectivity to the lab building. The lab building is separate from the other 2 buildings, approximately 500 meters. One computer of the lab building is used as a DNS. Now, lab has DNS and having the internet connectivity as well. Another computer in the lab building is used as a proxy. And I make a proxy a lab. The entire network has to be protected through firewalls. The principal has received the IP block. They are giving us the IP block. 192.248.16.0/24. This IP block given. The IP address for the computers are to be allocated after making 3 subnets from this address block for the 3 buildings. And this is the block given. This block has to be converted into 3 subnets. From this address block, 3 buildings. Assuming such subnetting is done, write down the relevant network address, subnet mask, allocated IP range for each building of the following table format to present your answer. We will do the subnetting. Then admin has to have 5. Then lab has to have 40. This has to have 10. And what subnetting should I do? VLSM, the FLSM. Variable length subnetting, the fixed length subnetting. Here we have 40. Here we have 5. And 40 volt on up it 2 to the power 6. 5 volt on for 3. And here we have 6 hospits. Here we have 3 hospits. එහෙම ගත්තොත් VLSM තමයි. හැබැයි in the exam they didn't expect VLSM. They want to continue as FLSM. හරි. එහෙනම් මම මේක හදන්නම් FLSM වලින්. Otherwise it's not practical. මේක හදන්න ගියොත් මෙතන VLSM 3ක් හදන්න ඕන. That's against the marking scheme as well. ඒකන මේක අපි FLSM දාලා හදමු. හැබැයි current papers they will clearly say that if it is VLSM use it, right? And now this was early in 2019 වලදී. Those days VLSM had not been introduced into our papers. VLSM කරේ නැහැ. දැන් introduce කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකන්දා we have to consider that. I don't consider this as VLSM. We'll continue. Right. Now we want to do the subnetting here. And I may write what is the way to do the subnetting? One is going to have 40 hosts with the 2 servers 42. And I may use either of the equations. One is the number of subnetwork equation 2 to the power m. Other one is number of host equation 2 to the power n minus 2. If I want to use subnetwork equation, we have to mark that as 3 subnetworks. Admin, lab, and lib. Subnetwork. With that, we may find how many subnet bits are required along with the given IP block. Then I may use that since 3 subnets are required, I'm going to go for the equation. What is that? Number of subnetworks going to be 2 to the power m. So then that is going to be 3. So that 2 to the power 2. So that m has to be 2. What is this m value? Number of subnet bits required. M can subnet bits, host bits නෙවෙයි. එහෙනම් need 2 subnet bits. Right. Now I may rewrite the given details. And given subnet mask. So given subnet mask is 192.248. Oh, subnet mask value. Subnet mask is 255. 24, right? Given subnet mask is 24 nang 8, 16 and 24, then these are going to be zeros. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we need to subnet that by maintaining 2 subnet bits. And we can go for the new subnet mask. That is having 2 subnet bits. So that's going to be 255, 255, 255. I want to indicate 2 subnet bits. And now from the left hand side, I may mark them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to be 192. That's a subnet mask. Sorry. Then for this, I want to do the subnetting now. And I'm going to go for the subnetwork 1. There I have to maintain the subnet bit combination as 0, 0. And then marking the first usable IP. Sorry. That's going to be 192. This doesn't change. 248 still not changing. 16 not changing. Now the subnet bit combination 0, 0. First subnet. And the host bits are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. That's going to be 1. Then the last usable IP 192.248, 16, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then there it's going to be 64, 63, 62. Then I am going to go for the subnetwork 2. This may be for admin. Subnet 2. Then I must maintain the subnet bit combination as the next level 0, 1. Now we go to the first usable IP. That is the network remains the same. And the subnet bit combinations are going to be marked as 0, 1. First bits are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now it's going to be 64 plus 1 is going to be 65. Then the last usable IP in it 192.248, 16. This goes as 0, 1. First bits are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 0. Then in it, it's going to be 128, 127, 126. Since it is going to be fixed length, can't I continue the pattern for the others? Yes. Then we may detect the difference among the first and the last. 62 minus 1 makes it as 61 is the difference. And from last to the next, 65 minus 62, giving you 3 as a difference. So with that, I can fill the table. Then to fill the answer, it's building. We have to go for the network address, then the subnet mask, as well as the usable IP range. First, I may say it's the admin building. Then the IP range we have detected is 192.248.16.1 to 192.248.16.62. Are network address is 1 less than that. 192.248.16.0. Subnet mask is this one 255.255.192. Again, all subnet mask again 255.255.255.192. Next one, the lab building. We calculated the IP range as 192.248.16.65 to 192.248.16.126. Subnet mask remains the same. Network address is 1 less than that. 192.248.16.64. Then you have to go to the other network lib building. Then we found the pattern from the last to the next. We have to add 3 into this. So beginning will be 192.248.16.129. 2. Then the first and last has the difference of 61. This is 0, 9, 190. And I'm going to be 192.248.16.190. Correct. And then subnet mask remains the same. Network address is 1 less than that. 192.248.16.128. So I did that for the 3 subnetworks. I don't want to go for further. So now you on. That's a part A. Right? Part B says that give one reason as to why a fully connected network topology is not suitable for the school network. They don't ask us to draw this even. This is a calculation part. Then the section B. Why the fully connected all-to-all topology is not suitable for the school? What is all-to-all topology? Mesh topology. All-to-all can mesh. When whatever the devices we have has a separate connection to all the others in the network. All-to-all. This is connecting here, here. Even this has a connecting connected to all the others. This is the all-to-all topology. Then they say that for this network, why this is not suitable? Main reason is who maintains this network? What is the organization for this network to be maintained? What is it? School. Then whenever we have the mesh topology, what is the advantage of mesh topology? The connectivity is highly established. If this cable breaks, no issue, we can connect them through the other media. Media and that's going to be highly stable. Into the school, do they need such a stable connectivity? No need. But in order to get this stable connectivity, they have to spend a lot. how many cables are to be there? How many NICs are to be there connected to each computer? Now, depending on the investment the principal do, they don't get profits. But we said that mesh topologies are good for ISPs, internet service providers, dialog mobitel people. So their network cannot be broken. So one tower may get connected to many other multiple towers. So if this connectivity breaks, still the communication can establish through the other pathways. ඒ වගේ network වලට mesh හොඳයි. හැබැයි මේ පොඩි ස්කෝලේ network එකකට mesh එකකට කරන investment එක is a waste. And that's what we have to narrate, that give one reason why fully connected network is not suitable for this one. It's okay to set it up, but not suitable. We have to narrate that as a technical answer. How will you? All to all topology is very expensive to set up. Very expensive to set up. Within brackets, right? Due to cables and it is a stable network, a stable connectivity. Now within brackets we can put it as, if one cable breaks, till the parties are connected. Right? Then I will try the real reason. All does not need such a stable connectivity, does not need such a stable connectivity so that the investment on all to all topology is a waste. Maybe we did it, but I wrote it for your understanding even, right? Actually, we don't need this level of answer. මේක මම ලියව ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙන්න. හරි. මේ අන්තිම කැලේ ලියුවා නම් ඇති. The school does not need such a stable connectivity so that the investment for all to all topology is a waste. මේ කැලේ මම දැම්මේ for your knowledge. Then part C. The lab administrator who responsible to set up the school computer network has requested for switches and routers. Now for this network is going to be set up. Switches and routers are requested. Showing clearly the network connection topology and the devices, draw the network diagram to represent the logical arrangement of the school computer network that the lab administrator can implement to fulfill the school requirement. Now we have to draw the network diagram. We know the devices, then you have to locate them, connect those sub networks likewise. Right. Now we need to have 3 sub networks. Then one is going to be the admin building. And there we have 5 computers. So they are going to be connected through a switch, as well as they said a printer. Right? But they didn't notice what type of printer is it. Is it a network printer or the general printer? But assuming that as a network printer, I may connect that printer into the network. They said that they are going to share the printer. Make a computer connect kamak nahe. But I can label that as a printer. Right? Then you are going to go for the next one called as lib building. It's going to be a library. Then the other one is going to be the lab. Fine. Still, every network has to have a printer available. Right. Now, I'll go further for the earlier bullets. Right. What are the devices available? The above network has SIS running in admin building. Admin එකේ තව server එකක් තියෙනවා SIS එකක් කියලා. You have to locate them. All information system. You must keep them. ඊළඟට the LIS is available in the lib building. Now here we have library information system going to be LIS. Then the lab has what? All the computers are given efficient internet connectivity as well. For this purpose, the school has subscribed to internet service provider who is supply the internet connect to the lab building. The lab is the one now we are connected to the internet. Now here we have the internet connectivity provided to the lab. So that it has to be connected through a router to this lab building. ඊළඟට කියනවා the lab building is separated from the other buildings approximately 500 meters. One component in the lab building is used as a DNS server. And in the lab building, there is a DNS server. You have to locate them. And also they say that another component in the lab building is to be used as the proxy server. You have to draw the proxy as well. Right. Then the entire network is to be protected through firewall. Where will you place the firewall? This is a router internal to the router, not outside. Then here we have to place the firewall to protect all the threats coming from the internet. Right. Now they say that each building is around 500 meters away from this. And all these have to get the internet connectivity. And these should be connected to this. What do I do? Am I using one other switch or these switches are directly connected to the lab building? You can use both of the methods. Why they have not limited how many switches are available. Switches 4 3 කියලා දීලා නැහැ. This is that ordered switch. But the best arrangement is connecting them directly to the switch of the lab building without going for extra one. The connectivity would be fast, right? Once they are accessing internet, bringing into the lab, and from that the switch will be getting and delivered. Okay, arrangement. Then you have to label this. Since they are away from 500 meters, we have to use fiber optic cables. These are fiber optic cables, whereas these are going to be UTP cables. Then proxy, DNS, printer has to be clearly presenting in your answer. Clearly showing clearly the network connection topology, devices, though the network diagram represent the logical arrangement, implement to fulfill the school requirements. If there are issues or doubts, talk to me. Give one reason as to why TCP is preferred over the UDP as a transport layer protocol for the school computer network. And now for this school computer network, they ask why TCP is preferred other than UDP. What is the feature of TCP? Good one or bad one? Good one. For the school network, why do they need TCP? Almost all the communication in the school, library information system should give information to the other parties. Even here we have school information system, student data, and the internet web pages. Do they need reliable communication or unreliable communication? Reliable. All the data here should be delivered to the other side. According to the purpose, they need reliable connections, so TCP is preferred. Correct? Then to write the answer in it, all the communication of the school, that means data, web pages, are expecting reliable communication so that TCP is preferred. Correct. You're going to want reliable communication. Give some evidence as well, just like the school data, web pages. Then TCP is recommended. Right. Then 2020 MCQs. Which of the following statements regarding guided and unguided media are correct? What are guided media? Wired. Unguided means wireless. Guided media transmission supports higher data speeds than unguided. Which one is faster, guided or unguided? Wired is faster, specifically the fiber optic. Wireless are not reaching that speed. Now, statement A is correct. Why? Wired is faster in considering the fiber connection. Others are slow. B, guided media is subjected to less interference than unguided. Guided media has a cable. Unguided are going along with signals. Which one is suspected to be in interference a lot? වැඩිපුර interfere වෙන්නේ කවුද? Wireless the wired? Wireless. Wireless signals are everywhere here. When there's another signal comes, there's a higher chance of mixing them. But wired now, hopefully the signals are traveling through the copper cable, then the way of interfering will be quite limited. It may, but it's quite harder than the wireless. Why the wireless signals are openly available? අපි කලින් කතා කරා wireless signals are prone to interference a lot. Now, B is also correct. Guided media is subjected to less interference than unguided media. Unguided media transmission is more secure than guided media. Which one is secure, guided or unguided? Guided. Unguided means data everywhere. And whoever detect the signal can get it unless it is encrypted. Now, guided is more secure. If someone to steal, they have to connect their devices to the cable. මේකෙදි හැම නෑ signals are everywhere. Security threats are more in unguided media. Right. C is wrong. Guided media transmission is, unguided media transmission is more secure than unguided. No. D, unguided media transmission uses low bandwidth. Unguided low bandwidth than guided. Harine. Hey, guided has fiber optic. Fiber optic is giving the highest bandwidth, light, faster than this. Now, D is correct. So, answer is A, B, D going to be the second. Then 18. What is the process carried out in modulation technique in data transmission? Modulation. Modulation in the sense changing. Then first one, encoding information in a transmitted signal. Alright. Now this goes to a place like this. When I want to send my data, I want to send data that may be pixels. Alright, images. I want to send them as a sender. What should I do for this data? First, am I doing the modulation or am I doing the encoding? Should I do encoding or modulation? Encode. I want to encode this, turn into a signal. Encode current signals and ones and zeros. Now, first I do the encoding. Then encoded signal is then submitted to the modulation, frequency modulation, and amplitude modulation. Ones and zeros out passe they will modulate that. Then the modulated signal is mixing with the carrier signal. Now that is being sent to the receiver, demodulate it and decode it, then bring them back to data. Okay, flow. Right? In that event, what is it? Encoding information in a transmitted signal. Right? Next one, encoding signals in a transmitted information. Extracting information from the transmitted signal. Extracting information from the transmitted signal. What is that? Decoding. Transmit karapu signal again information araganna එක. That is called as decoding. නෙමෙයි. Demodulation නේ. ඒ transmit වෙන්නේ modulate කරපු එකනේ. ඒකෙන් extract කරලා ගන්නවා කියලා ගන්න demodulation. And the third one goes to demodulation. They ask modulation. Extracting signals from the transmitted information, then transfer information with minimum distortion. What is the answer then? What is the process carried out in modulation technique? What is the process done in modulation activity? When modulation is going on, what is done? Modulation එක කියලා මොකද කරන්නේ? Encoding information in transmitted signal. Encoding signals in transmitted information. Information in the band. Answer is going to be the first in it. Hari? මොකක්ද එකෙන් කියන්නේ? Here, modulation means now encoding will convert data into a signal. Pixels තිබෙක signal එකකට convert කර data වලට convert කරගත්තානේ. හරි. Sorry, signal එකකට convert කරගත්තානේ. අපි මතකද encoding schemes NREZL ඊළඟට Manchester encoding කොහොම තිබ්බේ? එතකොට bits තියෙන ඒවා under the NREZL we convert them into ones, low are 0, high are 1. කොහොමනේ අපි ගත්තේ? එහෙනම් encoding process will generate a signal here. Signal එකක් තමයි හදන්නේ. Data is originally available through the encoding generate signals. දැන් signal එකක් නේද මේ digital signal එකක්. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි modulation කරන්නේ. Then first statement, encoding information in a transmitted signal. This transmitted signal is encoded. Encoded means changing. That encoding word is not the encoding word earlier. ඉස්සලා කියපු encoding නෙමෙයි මේ කියන්නේ. මෙතන encoding කියන්නේ නිකම්ම change කරනවා කියලා වෙ කියන්නේ. Transmitted signal එක change කරනවා to a method which can be transmitted over the medium. Isn't that meant by the first statement? Encoding information. That means changing information in the transmitted signal. whatever the information here in the transmitter signal is changing by joining them into a carrier signal. Modulation කියන්නේ ඒකනේ. මේ signal එකට mix කරගන්නවා carrier signal එකක්. ඒකට මතකද ආවා amplitude modulation නම් it's come like this. හරි. කොහොමනේ ආවේ? එහෙනම් that is to say that the signal is changed to make it ready for the medium. So then the 18th answer is going to be 1 in that event. I understand that that's not that easy to judge. Take a confused point. Can't tell that is found in the exam 2022 2020. Okay. Then 19th, which of the following statements about bus topology is incorrect? Bus topology, we know that single data bus is there. Incorrect. Computers and network devices are connected in a single cable. Into a single cable, we connect them. That's correct. They won the wrong. All traffic flows are either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Bus එක clock anti-clocks තියනවද? නැහැ. So then the devices are here, they may flow this or that way, bidirectional. Then that's the incorrect answer. Then bandwidth is shared among the nodes. Then the available network bandwidth of the common cable is shared with the available nodes. When these two are in a data exchange, they use this. When these two are in, they are using it. So the available bandwidth of the bus is shared by the connected devices. ඒකම තමයි මේ හැමෝම use කරන්නේ. That's correct. Each node is connected to two of its neighbors. Each node is connected to two of its nodes. එහෙමද? That is being available where? Ring එකේනේ මේ දෙන්න connect කරනවා. මෙයා මෙතෙන්ට connect කරනවා. Each node is connected to two of their neighbors is ring, not in bus. හරි. එහෙනම් D is also correct. Then the answer goes for 4 in it. 19. Then 20th, consider the following statements with blank. MAC address is usually represented in numbers. Which of the following are suitable to fill? MAC is presenting in which numbers? Hexadecimal numbers. MAC address is of how long? 48 bit. And 20th, the answer is going to be the 3. 21. You are requested to create 16 subnets with class C. Which subnet mask is suitable to create the subnet mask? So we are supposed to create class C. And class C default subnet mask is 255, 255, 255, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, subnet mask. Then need to have 16 subnets. And like we did earlier, number of subnet equation is 2 to the power m, going to be 16. So m has to be 4. And need how many subnet bits? 4 subnet bits. If so, what is the new subnet mask? 255 new subnet mask. 255, 255, 255. We need to include 1, 2, 3, 4 subnet bits. 1, 2, 3, 4 first bits. And what is that? 255, 255, 255, 4 ones in the sense, isn't that 240? And decimal 240. And the answer is going to be the first for the question number 21. On a 2020 MCQ set. 20 MCQ